Hi everybody and welcome along to this Yoga Orkney online session. So it's suitable for all levels, to beginners to people who've been practicing for some time. And really I try to incorporate as many options as I can in classes so that we all feel that we can get something out of it. If you have any concerns, please do ask or ask your healthcare provider, specifically if you're managing a condition that's unique to you. You know best, but please feel free to get in touch. Please make sure that the place that you're exercising in is suitable, that you have had a look for any hazards, you have a nice clean area to work with, and yeah, just work at your own pace, at your own level, and I hope you enjoy. Tonight, if you want something under your knees, potentially underneath the hips, then you can just have it handy, but we don't necessarily need anything. And you might want to hold on to something if your balance is a little bit wobbly. My calves are still sore from a workout I did on Saturday. Okay, I think we'll just horse in and start going, I think. So we're going to start off by standing up tonight. Might tie my hair back now rather than it flying in my face when we come to kneeling. Just make sure that the space around you is suitable to move in, that you're not going to step on anything or slip. Good. Who's in? We've got a couple more. Grand. Hi Karen. Great. So, you're just going to give your shoulders a nice roll, head to the side. I hardly ever stand still or stay still now, so feel free to kind of move head and neck, whatever works for you. A little swing of the arms, because we're going to be bearing our body weight this evening. Give your legs a little shake out. Remember to work at your own level, choose options. Really what we want to have is nice control over the body, so we don't want to be, well, we're going to be wobbling a little bit, but try not to kind of over-exert yourself, rather think about that control that you have in the exercises. So the arms are going to circle up, bend the elbows, gently just reach the arms away and back up, elbows, and then reach a couple of times, just pull. And this one's lovely because it works the chest, the back, the arms. Good, just that nice easy circle. Good. And out and around. Couple more times. Good. Well done. Give your knees a little shake. Have a little gentle twist side to side. This exercise can actually be quite challenging. You want to kind of feel the upper back. Good. And then from here, arms circle again onto the back of the head this time, or as close as you can manage. Just nestling into the back of the head. Bend your knees, feet are in a nice kind of position that means that you can kind of stay nice and stable. And you're just going to rock to the right side and to the left. Right and left. And just be aware of your lower back here. We want to kind of just gently lift up away from the hips. But the idea is that we want the body to kind of work without us having to give too much consideration, too many squeezings, or you know, once we start interfering a little bit, can tend to make things worse. And if you want to make that a little bit more, you just drop an arm. But remember, if your back says no, it's a no. You bring your arms back up. You can always make the exercise a little bit smaller. And you're just shifting from side to side. Good. And then we're going to bring our hands onto our hips here. Bend your knees and just push your butt back as you bring the chest forward. Stop when you first feel whatever happens here in the back of the legs. Maybe you get calves first, and then you're going to push the floor away and see how it feels. You can lift it all the way up like this, or you can kind of roll back up if that feels better for you. So maybe just a little encouragement for the abdominals. Lengthening this body out, and then back up. And again, bending those knees so we don't need to be here to get a stretch. You might find over time that with the knees bent, and I don't mean like this micro bending, just a proper bend in the knees. Good, and up. And then again. So we're going to be coming back to this movement. Good. And then forward. See how your back feels? Maybe the arms start to dangle down a little bit. Hands back on the hips. And then back up. Forward and down. You can leave your hands here. Dangling down. Good. You want to feel good? One more. Good. So this is like your half forward fold. Arms dangle. Hands on and left. Well done. Give your legs a little shake. Now you're going to take the right leg up and balance. I know a few of you are with me that your balance has like taken a turn for the worse over this lockdown period. Like physical balance, not emotional balance. That's another topic of conversation. So I like to just lift the heel, the toe knows that there's the floor there, and left. You might want to hold on, that's fine. And then just gently down and left. Shifting the balance from one side to the other. It's fine to leave the foot on the floor. Down. Good. And left. And then make sure you know what room you have behind you. You're going to left again. Push to the heel as the foot comes down. And then other side. So you left. Push to the heel as the leg comes down, like you're stepping on a brake or an accelerator pedal, depending on the personality type of driver that you are. Good, down. Good, and then one more time on the left side. And we're going to make that movement even bigger. So these are movements that we do all the time. Walking, stepping over something, right leg lefts, walking up the stairs. You're going to kick that leg. And then you're going to swing it back behind you and see how much you can bend that standing leg. Tap the floor and come back in. So we'll do the other side. Now remember, you can stop this exercise at any point in the chain. Here, heel away. Here's good. So as soon as you bring the leg back, butt muscles, and you need to hinge forward. And then maybe bending that standing leg at the front, little tap. And back in, right side, up, heel away, little swing of that leg, bending the standing leg. So lovely strengthening work, that little tap at the back. Working towards control, left, heel away. So we stay upright until that leg starts to come back. And at that point where you feel like you're going to have to arch the back, that's when I like to quite bend the knee. Good. An instruction that will never be the same. One more time each side. After Game of Thrones, if anybody is a fan. So kick through. Suddenly in front of this yoga class telling everybody to bend the knee. Bend the knee. Tapping back. Good. Foot comes in one more time left side. And then we'll hold a balance for a little moment. Push that foot away. Good. And these are all great considerations for your lunge. Little tap back. Good. Now lift that right leg up. We're not going to swing it back this time. And see if you can, without holding on, just turn the knee out to the side and then in. Out to the side. And you want to stop before there's any discomfort in the hip. Doesn't matter how high you lift the leg, it can even be on the floor. We just want a bend in the knee. And then you're going to put that foot onto the left leg. And the hands just come to the heart for something to do. You may need to hold on. And see how the body feels. Maybe there's a little something happening around the hips, especially after that first kind of dynamic lunging exercise. Good. Knee comes up, then you put it down. And I want you just to try with a straight leg now, turning the right leg out. So take your time. Now does it feel different as if you turn the leg out with a bent knee as to with a straight leg? So even just a tiny bend here just frees up usually a lot more space in the hip, or a lot more movement. Lift up that left leg, and again you can tap it down and up, you can hold on, whatever suits you. Leg out to the side. Good. And again, because we're not kind of holding onto the leg, we're using active strength. We're letting the muscles find the best position for the joints, knee, ankle, hip. And then you can take that left leg onto the right, tree pose. And I used to teach this, do not put the foot on the knee, it's either up or down. But actually, if we're looking to build strength around the hips and the thighs, hamstrings maybe, this is great. Good. And then you're going to take that leg off, bring it back down, and then again, same thing. With as straight a leg as you can manage, just turn the left toes out. So kind of like our first plie if we do bar. And then you'll maybe feel, well, maybe for some of you it'll be less resistant, but I find this is just so much more mobile. Well done. We're going to do a little forward fold again. So bending the knees. Maybe hands dangle down. It's totally fine to arch your back if that feels good, by the way, or to keep it straight. It really depends where you feel the most tension in the body. You know, if your problems are middle of your back, then arching is probably not going to feel that good, or your neck. If it's lower back, sometimes it feels really nice to stretch the upper back. If it's here, bend the knees a little deeper maybe. You can also put the hands back on. Good. Up you come. You're going to fold the toes over the other way. Stretch that foot at the top and then toes down, heel stays lifted. Switching sides, so you just curl the toes under. Good. And then we're not revisiting a section, it is new, but we're going to work around some salutations-ish. Shake out those legs. So you want the room to be able to move back and forth, so I'm going to turn sideways. And I'll probably move around a little as I decide at the time. So shake out the legs, mountain pose. So with mountain pose, sometimes you'll see it taught like this, or feet underneath the hips. But actually, I find it's a lot more strength in the posture if you allow your feet to find a natural position. So you can see for mine it's way wider. It's probably about shoulder distance. So be open to that. You can bring your hands to your heart. Take a little moment, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. How wobbly do we feel? Immediately my body just wobbles forward. Maybe you don't feel wobbly, maybe you feel steady and still. See how you feel. And you just want to address each of those little wobbles, just gently taking the action that you need to allow yourself to stay upright. Tune into how your feet feel, how your body feels after that warm up. How do you feel now? How is the breath? Now I'm breathing. Arms, eyes open first. Arms come up. Good, reaching out, they come up again. Folding forwards, nice bend in the knees. Hands can walk up somewhere around knees, maybe it's elbows on knees, that's fine. Good, and then your hands come all the way down to the floor. So we'll start with this right leg, lunge it back, and see what you feel like you need in your lunge tonight. So it might be leg off the floor, it might be knee on the floor. Remember, you can put a cushion underneath, it doesn't make you a bad person or incapable if you need to put a cushion underneath. Sometimes knees are just sensitive things. And you're just going to gently lift the left arm and twist towards that left knee. Maybe you're here, maybe you're down, maybe you need to come up a little higher. You get the idea. Maybe you want to prop the other arm. Loads of options. Good. Arms come back down. Don't worry if they don't reach the floor. Again, you can just be on your thigh. Lift that back knee, put the back knee down. You're going to slide this left leg straight back behind you, and you're going to find a comfortable position for the arms and the wrists. Don't think too much about the hips, you just want this kind of stronger feeling around the abdominals. Lean the body forward and back. Forward and back. How are the wrists? Do we need fists here? Forward and back. Do we just maybe need to move the arms forward and back? That's also reasonable. Good, now bend that left knee, toes to the ceiling, and just lift that leg gently upwards. If it makes your hips feel bad, unravel. Toe can always come to the floor as well. Good, and then you're going to unravel that left leg. Then you're going to curl underneath the body, elbow to knee, and then reach out. Remember, you can just do arm, you can just do leg. You can take a breather, you're just moving in and out. Good, in and out. Reaching forward and back. Lovely for the back of the body. Good balance exercise. And for the core, muscles around the front of the body as well as the back. One more. Arm stays forward, knee comes down, arm comes down. Your knees might want to move a little wider here. Reach the hips back for a child's pose. You may at this point want to walk your arms in or back. You can lie on your back, you can put something under your feet. What do you need to make this posture comfortable for you? Good, up we come, onto hands and knees. I'm going to ask you to walk your knees a little bit further back. Remember, your arms do not have to be here, so we're not aiming for this tricep kind of situation. Arms a little wider so we feel a little bit more of the upper body as well. And you're going to lower down as controlled as you can and release the legs. Big breath in. And then gently as you breathe out, lifting head and chest slowly up. Try just to have a soft pressure with the hands. You're not pushing yourself all the way up into that cobra pose. Lowering down, stretching as much as you can. And then you have options. You can keep the arms here. Again, if it's not quite good on your back, just bring the hands under the head. It's still a back bend. Or this option, you might want to bring your forearms in, see how your back feels. Good. Hi guys who have joined us, brilliant. Lowering down again. Now this time, options please, just have a quick look before you come up yourself. What we don't want is this, see how the chest lifts and then you're hanging all the way into the lower back. If you can't lift up in one go, then push the body weight back and it'll help you build the strength in the upper body. So you choose up towards plank position. I kind of have to give it a 3, 2, 1 go. And then your hips come up really high and you just march the legs. You keep moving side to side, pushing down to the arms. I like to be able to lift one arm or lighten it. Because the one thing we all get in downward dog, I know I say it pretty much every time, upper body strength. Not everybody gets the back of the leg stretch. Not everybody gets the back into this straight position. And backs, by the way, we're reading a really good article. You know, we're supposed to be able to bend over and pick things up. Good. Hands walking back to the feet. And then gently back up to standing. I have to be really careful here. I feel like big a little bit. Giving your legs a little shake. Good. So again, back into that mountain pose. Doesn't have to be stuck together. Don't look down, that's what I find helps. Hands back to the heart. Or here, whatever. And close the eyes. Arms still. A little bit wobbly now. Yes or no? Are we wobblier on the one side or the other? Take a little moment. Good, eyes open first, and then your arms are going to circle up, elbows, reach the arms out, up. Now you can come arms wide, arms forward, arms down the side. Bend your knees as you fold forward and down. Do whatever you have to do here to get your fingertips to touch down. It might be here, you know, or you have your elbows down, that's fine. Hands walking back up, and then back down. And lunging this time, the left leg back. And be open to the fact that you may need a slightly different solution on this side. Right leg doesn't have to stay straight either. Just a word of caution, if you're pretty flexible and the body likes to go here, just assess if that's what's going to be best for you this evening or tomorrow morning. You might want to put the knee back down if you find it difficult to control what's happening in the hips, how much flexibility you set in with yourself. If you're here and you're thinking, well, I want to make it harder, slide the knee back and lift the chest and you'll get a nice thigh stretch instead. And then you may wish to, remember, alterations for your wrists, fists, cushions, if you have your wedges, that's fine. Rolling the elbow up and a little twist around. We don't have to wait here, you can kind of duck in and out of the posture. You can put your knee down at any time. You know, we're built a little, we're generally the same, but all the little connections in the body, the bone shapes, the injuries, you know, whether you've had kids, whether you do a physical job or not physical job, it's all going to alter how the shapes look from the outside in. So we build them from the inside out. Arm comes down. Here's the tricky bit where the brain needs to kick into gear. Put that left knee down on the floor and send this right leg back. It can be more than one step. The astute among you will notice that any time I'm moving my leg back, I have to twist my body because my arms are too short to let the leg go. And see how this feels. Remember, fists, forearms, walking the arms forward and back. Doesn't matter if the toes are pointed or not. Lean forward and back. Oh, I can touch the wall behind me. Now, if your knees are made of steel, you may want to lift the back foot from the floor. Personally, no thank you. But see how you feel. And again, you're looking for that like first bite point, not the last one. Good, and then landing in the centre, bend that right knee and maybe lift the knee. Remember, you can lift and lower, that's fine. And have a little think about whether this left hip is, you know, jutting out to the side, whether we can sort of push down maybe with the left leg. And then you're going to roll out that right leg long, left arm creeps forwards, elbow in and reach. In. This is really one of these kind of like universal exercises that are in yoga, Pilates, strength training, rehabilitation. So it's a really nice one for a lot of areas of the body. Reach. Couple more, remember, when you're done, that's totally fine. Good. And you might want to try putting the knee down first. Nice experience for the upper back here with the arm just reaching. Hand comes down. You may want a child's pose here. You may want a cat-cow stretch, which is this one. Follow your instinct. So you know when you've been to a yoga class before and you maybe get like a tourist in, or you get that person who's just really not worried about doing whatever they want. You have to become that yoga person. That each of us on our mat is doing something a little bit different from the person next to us, and that's perfect. Up we come onto hands and knees. How are we feeling about a second push-up? Try walking those knees back. And what I find helps is you come to that first point, you think, I can't do it, hold it, and then you suddenly can, because you can help that isometric hold halfway through. Coming down, just gently, it's not a kick, just gently pull that right leg in, heel to the butt, point the toes as you reach away, gently pull the left leg in, and again, I have quite tight hip flexors, big quads, so I always have to just kind of shuffle around a little bit. So you can do the same, you don't have to stay because you've landed there. Heel to the butt, and point those toes as you reach away. One more time, right side, heel, point the toes and away. Left side, a nice test for your hamstrings, heel, toes away. And you're going to bring your hands either side of your body, choose your option. How are we coming up to that plank? Knees down maybe, see how you feel. And then bend your knees if they're not already, and butt goes up towards the ceiling, and that little march. And you can really play around with your downward dog. Sometimes I like to kind of swish the hips side to side for a side body stretch. Remember, it's this that is the thing that everybody gets, the upper body, in case anybody wasn't unsure about what that mime could mean. And again, I find that being able to kind of lift the arm off, A, saves the rest, but B, it's really like that bear crawl exercise that you may get in some other classes. Good for your core, good for your abs and your back. Hands walk in towards the feet. Feet might tiptoe in a little to meet them. Remember those bent knees. Gently upwards. See how you feel. Good. Like a little shake out at this point. Arms gently onto the back of the head. Just gently side to side. Good. Circling those arms up. Elbows and reach. Elbows and reach. Good. And then you're coming back down to that forward fold. Halfway up. All the way down. And then you choose. You're coming back here onto hands and knees. Sometimes if your wrists are tired, depending on how flexible your fingers are, you can come onto the ball of the hand. If you are pretty flexible, try and avoid putting the weight on the fingertips. And just arching the back up and down. And just timing it with your own breath. Good. And then releasing the back. We're going to come to lie on the back. I know you're thinking, well, we haven't really done much sideways, out, side to side. We did do the tree pose, so we are mainly working in this kind of flexion, extension, forward and back. Gently onto your back. And again, sitting, walking, bending down to pick something up. Pretty common movements that we make in a day. You're just going to lie for a moment and construct a rest. I'm just going to loop this song around. It's going to be our relaxation tune. Good. So you may want a little something underneath the head, quite like a pillow if you're feeling luxe, feeling like you want a bit of relaxation. Maybe even just like a towel folded in half or a blanket in half underneath the hips can be nice. And then just gently peel the right heel up off the floor, knee up, and just like before, heel away, gently down so it touches the floor first, but not straight. Keep the bend in the knee. And then the foot rolls down, left side, lift the heel, see how your calves are doing, pull that knee in, kick through that foot, and then you push away a little, and then the heel comes down. Lifting right heel, up, push, and then back down, toes, lift the left heel up, good, heel down, and toes, lifting the heel up. Anyone else's feet got slightly further away from their body, it's fine. Kick the heel down. We're making a little decision about what happens in the back here and the hips. Good, all strengthening, left, heel, and away. Heel down, toes down. And then you might just want a really gentle swish of the legs side to side. Mainly thinking about a massaging kind of effect on the back. And then release. So you can stay here. This is constructive rest. Really we just want the knees bent and we want the arms below the line of the shoulder. Some of you might want to take a hand onto your heart and hand onto your belly. Don't feel like you have to do it because it's a yoga thing to do. just allow yourself to relax. What does that mean for you? It might be sitting, lying on your side. Some of you might like to stretch your legs out here. Really, that'll be dependent on your back. And you may want to close your eyes, you might want to keep them open. And you're just going to take listen out for what's going on around your room. So I'm lucky here tonight, I've got a few raindrops pattering on the window. Maybe hear the music or some of your housemates, your family members. Just be aware of that sound. And anytime the mind kind of floats away to a task or another thought, bring it back, sense of sound. Just being aware of how your body is resting. And it'll depend whether you're seated or lying, whether your knees are bent or you're stretched out. So I want you to think about all those points that you're making between yourself and the floor or the chair, or whatever surface it is that you're on. Just allow the muscles in the forehead to relax around the eyes. Sound, that sense of touch. Maybe you find your breath comforting. In which case you can tune into that. We're just gently trying to bring in our focus a little with our anchor points, that sound, that breath, the sense of touch. It might be that you find one a little easier to follow than the others. You might cycle through a few. Anytime you catch yourself following a thought, bring it back to one of those physical sensations. One of those sensory moments, sound, touch, floor, chair. And that awareness of your breath. Those are all things that are happening in the present moment, now. Really the only moment that we have full control over. Just bringing yourself back into that present moment with sound, breath, that sense of touch. And in the best way that's available for you, just imagine yourself in the room that you're in now, in the position that you're in now, just giving your fingers and toes a little wiggle. You might want to start that little swish of the knees side to side, just gentle, it's up to you. Or you may have to walk your feet in to do so, and it doesn't matter if you're lying or you're seated, you can still do that. And you might want to make the movement in the wrists a little more pronounced in the arms, in the ankles. I sometimes like a little nudge of the head side to side, see how you feel. And when you feel ready, just going to roll onto one side or roll up to sitting in the best way for you. You can stay on your back, that's fine as well. You can open your eyes if they're not already. Maybe the arms lift up, just one final look up maybe, see how you feel, and then your hands can come to your own heart, to the floor. And thank you all so much for joining in this evening.